Pythagoras is one of the most influential and least understood figures in the history of Western thought. If you want to understand Platonism, Aristotelianism, classical philosophy more generally, the esoteric tradition in the West, Renaissance mysticism, Renaissance science and philosophy, Kepler, the scientific revolution, Galileo. If you want to understand the basis of mathematical methods in Western science, that whole tradition, you really have to know who Pythagoras was and what he did to change the world. It is a difficult subject to look into, though, because there's not a lot of summary material that will really give you the full breadth of exactly what the Pythagoreans taught. You have to draw from Neoplatonic, Neo-Pythagorean, Platonic, and those few ancient Pythagorean sources that still exist, and synthesize and make informed guesses based on a wide knowledge of this huge literature spanning a millennia, at least. So we have done that in our course on Thinkific. So go to airval.thinkific.com. The course is complete. There's about 30 hours of detailed content on Pythagoreanism there. You can access it for $30. Or if you become a patron on Patreon, patreon.com/airval, you will have access to that content as well as many hundreds of hours of lectures on Iamblichus, Porphyry, Plotinus, Proclus, Simplicius, Ammonius, little-known Neoplatonic figures that people don't typically talk about. But I am committed to keeping this Neoplatonic tradition alive in the public consciousness. I think moving forward, we really need one integrated system of philosophy that is joined to our history as Westerners. So the Neoplatonic school is that linchpin that connects ancient thought to modern thought. The early Christian scholastics inherited the curriculum devised by the Neoplatonists. They used their curriculum and commentaries. The Iamblician curriculum was invented by the Neoplatonic philosopher Iamblichus, and it goes through a series of Platonic dialogues teaching the whole system of Platonic thought, as well as Aristotle's Organon, teaching the basic epistemological method. So we are on Thinkific going through both sides of that curriculum now. We will begin this Saturday, 10 a.m., with the first Alcibiades, which is the first dialogue in the Platonic side of the curriculum. It is a fun one. There's a lot of really deep insights to be gleaned from Proclus's commentary as well as Olympiodorus's commentary. We will use both, and this is going to be a long course. It's $50 on Thinkific, but it's going to last at least 3 months, and you'll have many tens of hours of content at the end of it to review at your leisure and really internalize and assimilate this information, which I do think helps understanding the history of Western philosophy more broadly. You know, just like Pythagoras is little understood, the Neoplatonic tradition is simply not well understood, even by specialists in philosophy. You know, I've dug deep into these sources and have a wide breadth of reading and understanding, and I have an interest in reviving it for modern scientific application. You know, many of the early modern philosophers, like Leibniz, or even John Locke, in surprising ways, incorporated Neoplatonic ideas. It never went away. It continued to shape the history of Western thought and does even today. There are Platonist scientists out there like Roger Penrose or Michael Levin who continue to come up with groundbreaking work that helps us understand the nature of the world. So Neoplatonism has that power. It has that critical historical role. And there is an ancient system for teaching it, the Iamblician curriculum. That's what we're using. So you can join the Platonic side of the curriculum. Again, if you sign up on Patreon, you'll get a coupon code to access the Thinkific course. It does help to have the support on Patreon. It allows me to continue investing time into doing this. It does take a lot of time putting all this together and doing the extensive reading and the work to understand it. But somebody has to, and one day we will have a physical institution to teach this stuff in a more comprehensive way even. But this is our second time through the curriculum. This will be more comprehensive than the first time. I've learned a lot even since then. So be a part of it. Show up on Saturday for that, as well as signing up for the Aristotelian component. We will use extensive ancient commentaries. To start with, we're using Porphyry's introduction to Aristotle's Categories, the first work in the Organon. And to understand classical metaphysics, you really have to understand the categories. The Neoplatonists use it extensively. It's not just an epistemological tool. It has serious implications in the whole Platonic system. And it helps you understand Aristotle's logic, which, of course, was the foundation of all Western logic until the 1800s. And it's really not gone away even today. So important stuff historically, useful even in understanding logic in the modern day. But Porphyry has this introduction, and Ammonius has a very lengthy commentary on Porphyry's introduction. So before we even get into the first work of the Organon, we'll have read an introduction with broad categories broken down and an extensive Neoplatonic commentary on that introduction. And then we'll get into the Organon itself with Aristotle's Categories, and we'll be using Simplicius's commentary on the Categories, which is super extensive and gives a whole historical background on the history of antique thought in many ways. Simplicius records numerous fragments that aren't found elsewhere, so a critical figure for preserving the thought of the ancient world for us moderns. But yeah, it's exciting stuff. Please consider joining. You know, if you will rent or buy movies produced by Hollywood that go in one ear out the other and they're not that memorable or that well made, you know, consider spending some money on a course that will really change the way you see the history of Western thought. These arguments will stay with you. It will influence the way you understand the world, even in the modern day. And as far as online courses go, it's really a very low price. So consider supporting on Patreon. Again, you'll get that coupon code to access the courses. Or yeah, just buy the courses themselves on Thinkific. I appreciate the support. And yeah, it's just, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a fun part of the history of philosophy. And we're starting now, and this is going to go on for years. It will take a long, long time to get through the curriculum in the way that we're doing it. It's going to be super comprehensive. And this is the start of it, this Saturday. So get on board, you know, and yeah, take care.